True Sky Aries, welcome to your reading for the month of June. So I've already cleansed the space and pre-shuffled your cards. So this is the main deck that I'm using for the solar transit through the sign of True Sky Taurus. So it ends around the 20th of June, so then the sun will transit through the sign of True Sky Gemini. And on the bottom of the deck, I have for you the Six of Wands. So it's a card of success. So this is the shadow energy of the deck today for you. So this month could actually be quite a successful month for you. There may be some kind of celebration about your success as well. So it will be on an external level. It won't just be, just you celebrating it. The first card, however, which is interesting, could be you. So it's our Fire King, the King of Wands. So he is a very passionate figure and he's a leader in his field and often very creative. So this could be you. It is linked to the sign of Aries, the Fire King, or it could be someone coming into your life. I'm taking it as you. It doesn't have to be a man either. It can just be the masculine energies associated with the fire leadership. Then we have the Underworld. So the Underworld is a really interesting card. So here in the card, the Underworld. So the card shows King Gwyn ap Nudd in his underworld domain of Anwen. He's robed in purple and wears a crown of lead and onyx. A white pig with red ears accompanies him. The border of the card shows two dragons, one red, one green, and branches of yew. The underworld is the hidden realm within, where your self-created inner demons dwell. Your deepest fears, hatreds, prejudices, and feelings of self-disgust. Here lives the secret dark half of yourself, the shadow self, which lies buried and suppressed in the darkest recesses of the subconscious mind, yet holds you in bondage, affecting every thought process and action and preventing you from moving forwards free and unchained. Deep down, everyone shares the same fears: fear of death, fear of being hurt, fear of suffering, fear of loneliness. These are survival instincts and part of the human makeup. However, conditioning and life experience often twist these natural instincts and bind them with inappropriate associations. When the Underworld card appears in your spread, you're being asked to look at your subconscious motivations. You are being held prisoner by your fears or by a suppressed experience that you refuse to face and deal with. This inappropriate response is weakening you and putting you in danger of becoming an emotional cripple. You may feel a rage that is inappropriately expressed, or your violence, emotional or physical, may be directed at yourself. You may be punishing yourself for things that were not your fault. So this is your crowning card for the month, Aries. Very intense. So it's going to be an interesting month for you. There may be some, subconscious, unconscious fears that you need to confront this month. The next card for you is the Lovers. So this could even be about a decision involving someone. It could be, your current lover. It could be, if you aren't attached, it could be potential new lover coming in, or even more than one. We have next the Ace of Cups, which is a very spiritual card, and this card can actually indicate a new love offer coming in. The Ace of Cups heralds creative inspiration and the production of works of beauty. You may discover a new talent. It's also associated with the home, and love and contentment is found there. It portends a happy relationship, perhaps marriage and parenthood. Your home will be a welcoming place. Interesting and pleasant visitors are indicated, as well as parties and celebrations. And then your central card is the Nine of Cups. So that is such a positive card to have as the central card for your reading for the month. So what a great month for you. It's known as the Wish card, and it heralds the fulfillment of a dream. It shows that difficulties have been overcome and that all your efforts and steady commitments will be rewarded. It's a time of emotional and material stability, good health, great happiness, though the situation may only be temporary. This card is telling you that you must take time to assimilate what you have learned and must work on balancing the elements within yourself to create a firm foundation of knowledge and strength before you try to progress further. So that is your central card today, is this stability of the emotional, spiritual realms. It is linked in here as well, so maybe there is some fear that once confronted, it will be a lot more apparent. Then the next card we have is the Seven of Discs, which is very much indicates that you are not prepared to work for what you want and you think you may be able to take a shortcut. A quick, rich scheme seems too good to be true and is too good to be true. Invest in it and you'll lose a considerable amount of money. If you're hoping a big gambling win will change your life, you're in for disappointment. Pipe dreams are preventing you from putting in the time and consistent effort you really need to be successful. You may even be neglecting a profitable occupation in favor of mirages that will provoke quarrels and earn you criticism. Spiritually, it is a warning that there are no shortcuts to growth and that you should be aware of any person or any sect that offers them. You cannot buy it or take it in a pill. You must earn it. So that is linked in here with the stability, however. So once you do manage your financial situation appropriately, and it could even be to do with this love offer as well. It is linked there, but also to the stability and also the diplomacy. So it's good to also use those skills as well. The next card we have for you, however, is another major arcana. You have quite a few in this reading, and this card is the card of the Warrior, which is in the Rider-Waite deck, would be your Strength card. Here, however, it's Scathach. So she's the Scottish, she trains the warriors and she trains Cuchulainn in the story. So it does show you will have an opportunity to put your plans into action. It's a powerful forward-moving energy, indicating that adverse circumstances can be managed through your determination and courage. However, you need to be firm, not aggressive or lose your temper. This behavior will make you lose ground. Keep a clear head and a calm demeanor, and remember to be magnanimous in victory. Spiritually, it's a time about the development of the will. You might need to physically exert yourself beyond the ordinary. So the warrior's purpose is to seek out fears and defeat them. The body has its own fears, which are natural and proper, and without these, we would put our hands into fire, crash cars, or jump off cliffs. It has an innate mechanism of self-preservation. The deepest fear lies in the mind itself. Such fears do limit us and prevent our development. At some point, you'll need to confront your fears one by one and deal with them. Spiritually, it's your own quest, and you must find your own truth. You can, however, test and push yourself. Run that extra mile, swim the extra 2 lengths, dig the extra few yards. You can do much more than you imagine, so break your self-imposed limits. So that's interesting that 2 cards we've had for you this month have indicated facing fears. And then we have the Green Man. So the Green Man is equivalent to the Fool in the tarot. And so he symbolizes a new cycle. So there will be some new energy for you this month, and it will be linked in here with this stability as well. And also this facing your fears as well is linked in. Then we have the 7 of Swords for you, which is the card of diplomacy. So the 7 requires you to cooperate in your present situation, that you cannot achieve what you want alone, and any quarrels now will lead to further problems. So be diplomatic and tactful in your communications with friends and colleagues, even if you have to bite your tongue. Being aggressively forceful with your opinions will lose you any ground that you have won. You'll have to compromise to get what you want. So spiritually, it's a time to develop an awareness of the spiritual dimension of your environment, whether you live in the city or the countryside. All places are special and have their own power and spirit. It is this spirit that you should come to know and work with, rather than trying to invoke the spirit of other times and other places. So that could be a real strength for you this month as well. And that's a new cycle opening. And it's also linked to the Prudence with the 7 of Discs as well. The next cards I'm going to clarify with are the Green Witch Tarot. And on the bottom of the deck we have for you the 4 of Chalices, which does indicate there is some degree of, dissatisfaction and boredom in your life. Potentially this month you may not be that interested in everything that's going on, so that's tricky. Then we have to clarify the King of Wands. We have the 5 of Pentacles. So if this is you, it may be a challenge this month financially or materially with resources. The 5 of Pentacles is a real card of lack of resources. However, it's normally for the individual. The outer society often has a lot, and it's a good time to try to reconnect with your community and try to see other ways that you could be helped at this time if you are lacking in resources. So maybe even using this leadership potential and this creative energy in that sense, like in your community, and seeing what's going on. For the underworld, this was about facing your fears and things. You have the 9 of Wands. So the 9 of Wands is quite a positive card. It does imply that you will have great strength and physical power to deal with your problems, and that you will feel that you need to, push yourself to achieve them, to overcome your problems, and that the act of fighting itself is even quite stimulating, and, it actually... It's like a bit of a repetitive cycle, so you kind of get into that place of being the fighter, and you're kind of ever ready to be, whatever battle is coming. But it kind of means that you're in like a bit of a loop, and that there's like endless conflicts, and that you have that energy to keep going. It can also signify an end to illness or, troubling circumstances as well, in that you use your energy wisely to overcome these and protect yourself. Ultimately, it's very self-protective. So that's interesting, because that was the card about fighting your fears. So I would say that that's going to be successful for you this month, and that it might take some time to do this, but you're up for it. The Lovers here we have clarified with the Page of Athens. So the page can be a child. They would be of like the air signs or houses or planets significant in their chart. Doesn't have to be an individual, however, it can be like new ideas. So in this relationship or choice that you have coming up this month, there may be a lot of new ideas popping up, or there may be a child involved as well. Then for the Ace of Cups, which was about this spiritual energy and the potential love offer coming in as well, we have the Knight of Pentacles. So the Knight of Pentacles could be another person coming in. They would be of the earth signs or houses or significant planets in those signs in their chart. Or it just could be something that you're learning. So the Knight of Pentacles is a very stable character and they have a lot of resources, and they can be a bit slow. That's the only kind of downside, is that there is a slow energy here, which is a good thing because it's stable. However, if with this love offer coming in and this the spiritual cup being offered, it may even be a bit slow coming in. So it might take them a while to kind of like warm up to things. Or it might take you a while to accept this offer. So for the Nine of Cups, which is the central card for your reading, this stability, we have the Four of Athens. So this card signifies a need for rest and recovery, and that you really do need to spend extra time at the moment, so this month, making sure that your nervous system is well. So by that, restored and rested. Even if it's you just go to bed a little bit early, or making sure you're not overworking yourself, which is interesting because we do have that Nine of Wands energy. So this is kind of like you're ready to fight. However, it is on this unconscious underworld energy, so maybe that's not so much in the physical. But yeah, so for this emotional stability, you really do need to make sure that your nervous system is healthy. Sometimes it can even mean that you might need to look into different dietary or supplements and things like that. Magnesium is a really good one. A lot of people are deficient in it, and it does really help the nervous system to calm. So obviously you'd need to everyone's situation's different, so not everyone would need it. However, it can help you sleep. It can help with like muscle cramps if you've been overworking. It is quite a healing vitamin mineral. So next card we have here is the Seven of Discs. So for the Seven of Discs, which was about this prudence with your money, so not taking big risks this month financially, because it won't work out. You do have the Wild Hunt, which is like the Tower card, so it does indicate that there is a big change this month and there is some chaotic energy coming in, which could like huge changes. So this is about this financial situation, so be really careful because it was warning. So just be aware of those chaotic energies there with your money and your financial decisions this month. So for the Warrior card, which was also about facing fears and pushing yourself and that kind of energy, we have the Knight of Athens. So he can actually, it could be an individual in your life, but he can bring a message. So there might be some important message that you get this month, and it might even trigger these fears, and you might have to be strong about it. It could be an individual coming in with a message. So the Knight would be like of the air signs or houses or planets and significant placements in their chart, and they'd be of like the 18 to like 35 kind of age range. For the new beginning with the Green Man, we have the Two of Pentacles. So this is definitely saying you need to be decisive and balance your spending, your incomings and your outcomings this month. There's a new cycle with finances for you. However, you need to not let it get too out of control. Then for the diplomacy with the Seven of Swords, which was talking about, really using those diplomatic powers that you have and cooperating with everyone, because at this time what you need to do is work with others. You can't complete things completely alone. So it is saying that there's an Ace of Pentacles connected here with this diplomacy. So if you do work well with others this month, it could be very beneficial for you, either financially or on some kind of resource level. The next cards I'm going to pull from are the Earth Magic Oracle. And on the bottom of the deck, we have Autumnal Equinox, Release. So there could be some kind of link this month for you with the Autumnal Equinox. Depending on where you are in the world, it could be the next one, or it could have been the last one with this month's energy for you. The first card we have here is Volcano, Volatility, and this is to do with this Knight of Wands, this fighting energy, but also this really unconscious underworld energy. So it sounds to me like there is a lot going on within you, inside you, which is a very Aries energy anyway. Then you have Green Man, Synergy, for your central card for the month, and this is very much linked with this Rest card and this emotional stability. So to me, I'm thinking, synergy is all about combining things together to make them, stronger. I think potentially even with the Green Man energy, spending time in nature, like this guy's resting under a tree, there's a pond, there's a duck, trying to, take on that energy of the Green Man to help restore your nervous system as well and give you that emotional fulfillment as well there, and help with your wish manifestations, because when you're happy it's easier to manifest things and the energies just flow better. The next one we have is Gaia, Nurturing. So nurturing is really important this month as well, and this is linked to this new beginning and this financial decisions and balancing. So make sure you are nurturing yourself and this situation with your finances. The next cards I'm going to pull from are the Nature Speak Oracle. And on the bottom of the deck we have, for you, Aries, Summer, Bring to Fruition. So there's also some link here with the summer. I'm not sure where you are right now in the world, what season you're at. However, there is some underlying summer energy about bringing to fruition whatever's going on for you this month. The first card, however, we got was with the Volatility, New Growth, Spring. So there's some kind of new volatility that is going on for you this month. And it's interesting because this card did talk about, that constant perpetual battles and fighting and being ready always and that kind of energy. So there is new volatility here. Then for the Green Man with the Synergy, we have Rowan, Control and Discern. So that's interesting. So control, yeah. So you need to control, make sure your environment is somewhat controlled for your nervous system. And discern is about understanding. So understanding this emotional stability that's so important for your nervous system as well, and how they work together. And then for the base card we have Meadow, Growth and Abundance. And this is for the nurturing. So if you do nurture your financial situation and this new opportunity, it will grow and you will have more abundance. The next cards I'm going to pull from are the Green Witch Oracle deck. And on the bottom of the deck we have for you Potion, Invigoration and Empowerment. So they are really important this month for you too. So So make sure you are, getting your exercise and keeping your energies flowing. Then we have the first card, Altar, Gratitude and Releasing Burdens. Okay, so this volatility with the new growth is about releasing burdens. So how do you release your volatile energies? This is really important for an Aries too. So there's this underworld energy, and then there's this fighting energy, the volatility. You need a healthy outlet for your anger and your aggression and your fiery energy. And that can be, putting that energy into like passion projects, things that you love. Also making sure not just eating well and resting well, but also getting enough exercise as well to kind of help get rid of that static energy. And also remember gratitude, to be grateful for what you have. And then we have, for the central card, we have Oak Tree, Power, Courage, and Strength. And this is linked to the Control and Discern. So you need your strength, which we had with the Warrior card, Courage and Strength. And it's a very powerful month for you. So you need to control and discern. And then for the base card, we have Salt, Protection and Banishing Negativity with this growth and abundance. Maybe you might even need to do like a banishing spell or something, like even just working with salt, having salt around, having salt baths. It's such a cleansing mineral. So, and this will really help with this growth and abundance by banishing this negativity in your life. The last cards I am going to read from today for you are the Australian Wildflower cards. And on the bottom of the deck, we have for you Sundew, Focus. First card is Sydney Rockrose, Acceptance. Fairy Aprons, Guidance. And Sturts, Desert Rose, Courage. Okay, so we've had Courage come up a couple of times as well. First card, however, and this is linked to the Altar, the Gratitude, Releasing Burdens with the New Growth. We have Acceptance, which is sometimes what we need to do, isn't it? So it's native to the Sydney area. You are loved. The appearance of this flower affirms that you are loved, needed, and appreciated, even if you fail to see it right now. Sydney Rockrose energy is connected with acceptance in all its forms. It asks for patience. It reveals that though you may not be able to change things, you most certainly can gain strength in realizing that you are not alone, and now would be a good time to ask for help or to share assistance with others. Speak from your heart, talk and open dialogue now. Even if it has failed before, we'll begin the process of healing. The challenges are feeling left out and accepting that you may in fact need to move on alone. As a healer, Sydney Rockrose heals broken hearts and combats shyness. So that's interesting. So you may need help, or you may need to ask for help this month. And this can even be linked in with these inner fears as well. You might need to see like a counselor or, a professional on some level. Not that we had the Hermit come up or anything like that. Hermit, sorry, Hierophant. The central card, however, is Fairy Aprons, Guidance. So it is a carnivorous plant found along the coastal areas to the ranges from Queensland through New South Wales, Victoria and the entire state of Tasmania, with pockets in Western Australia and South Australia. The energy surrounding fairy aprons is guidance, especially that connected with your intuition and divinity. You know what is right for you now. You have the answers within. You need to listen to your inner self, to your guides, and trust that you are being directed towards what is right for you. Nature will support you if you believe and connect deeply. Ask and the answers will come. The light will shine again. The challenge associated with fairy aprons is trickery. Be very careful of secrets that you have been entrusted with, and be aware that others may not be sharing theirs. As a healer, fairy aprons supports meditation, self-healing practice, and for strengthening the intuition. So yeah, this is to do with this power and the courage and the strength, guidance. So you may need some guidance this month from your guides or from someone in your life. The last wildflower we have for you this month is Sturt's Desert Rose, courage. So it's found mostly through inland Australia. The desert rose reminds us of our strong flame within and pulls us into her heart for us to listen to the message of self-belief and courage. Look within, dig deeper again, and stay true to your core beliefs. There can be a decision looming that not only you can make, and you need to step up. There is also a danger in being easily led. If you are regretful about an issue or feel guilt, now is time to be brave and clean the slate. Remember too, forgiveness starts with forgiving yourself in order for you to move on. The flower is a self-confidence booster. Her healing gifts include those surrounding women's cycles, physical changes, and emotional support. The challenges associated with Sturt's Desert Rose are fear brought on by a lack of self-confidence, guilt, and the fear of failure. And that's linked with this protection and the banishing negativity. So yeah, maybe there is some kind of forgiveness that you need to do this month as well, like forgiving yourself or forgiving someone else, or both, because obviously if you do forgive yourself first, then it's helpful for the whole process. So when it comes to the astrological musings for the month for Aries, it's quite interesting. So we do have True Sky Mars in your sign, and it will still be there for a little while as well. It will eventually go into Taurus. However, that could be conjoining your Aries placements, and we do still have currently the North Node in Aquarius and the South Node in Leo. So the South Node could be trining your Aries placements, and the North Node could be sextiling them. So there is, with the sextile, there's that potential, to move on and move with the world. And with the South Node, there is that healing of past like traumas and past events, including past lives, potentially as well. Then we have currently Pluto in True Sky Capricorn, which could definitely be squaring your Aries placements. So Pluto is a very transformative energy, and having a square could feel quite heavy. I do think it's interesting we got the Underworld card today for you for the month, because even though Pluto is a very long-term transit, so it will be in True Sky Capricorn for a really long time, it is quite heavy, and it's quite deep and dark, and it's that shadow work energy. So it could be really, if it is aspecting your Aries placements, obviously be careful. And if you do need to seek, counsel or counseling or some kind of advice from someone, then do, because, you're not alone, and it is a pretty heavy transit to experience. And because it is the long term, Pluto is a long term, moves so slowly, transit, so it can go on for potentially years when it's activating something in your chart. I actually went through it a long time ago when Pluto was in, I believe it was in, maybe it was in a fucus when it was squaring myself. Anyway, so it's squared quite a few of my but anyway, I'm talking about myself. So yeah, also we do have a lot of movement this month. So at the moment we have Mercury, Jupiter and Venus in true sky Gemini. So they could be sextiling your Aries placements, which is interesting that we did get, some signs of abundance of resources with the Jupiter, and then also some signs of love. So we got the Ace of Cups and the Lovers with the Venus, and then also with the Mercury we did get, it talked a bit about, there was the Swords energy with the Knight of Athens, but also like with the guidance and, talking that, opening up the dialogue energy with the Mercury there. And later on in the month, however, Jupiter, Venus and Mercury will enter true sky Cancer, and so when they're in there they could easily challenge your Aries placements as well. So you could experience quite a bit of change in those energies this month, including with the Sun. So at the moment the true sky Sun is in Taurus. However, after the 20th it will go into Gemini, and then it could sextile your Aries placement. So the Sun always illuminates whatever it touches, so it's generally a positive energy, and a sextile would be. So there could be some new opportunities for you with that as well later in the month, obviously depending on where in Aries, true sky Aries, your placements are. And it doesn't have to be just your Sun, it can be your rising or your moon, or significant maybe conjunctions or placements in your chart that are in true sky Aries. So yeah, I hope you have a fantastic month ahead. And, if you want to share anything with me, please leave a comment about, your month. If anything resonated in the reading, take what resonates and leave the rest for those that it will resonate with. And if you could and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, please do, because it really does help in the algorithm and helping me get out there to new people, because I do think that what I'm doing here is a little bit unique, and I think that it could help others as well. So yeah, take care, and I'll be back with a new reading soon.